TJ, camp almost over. School starts next week. 2 weeks out. What are some things you still need to do, or do you feel like you're in a good place right now?
Personally, I feel in a good place. I feel like our defense is headed in the correct direction. Our offense is clicking. So honestly, if we just stay on this little track we're on right now, then we should be able to have a big first kickoff.
You've been through it enough. How different is that when school starts? You've had a couple of weeks here where nothing but football.
Yeah. Honestly, it's just a little switch to the routine. I mean, just from fall camp, we're used to being up early and going home late. So it just honestly just adds maybe a little bit more to our play, but it's nothing we couldn't handle.
In terms of that, I'm sure each team has a different path to get there. But how do you measure whether or not a team is ready for that first kickoff?
Honestly, the practice. If we're not having good practices, then more than likely I feel like we're probably not going to be ready for the first kickoff. But like I mentioned before, I feel like we're on a pretty steady direction right now. We're training up every day, getting better and better. So I believe we should be ready.
Curious, Coach talked about the fact that Jeff Grimes is coaching the O-line this week. Maybe they have a little bit of different swagger with him. Do you notice a line difference between Jeff Grimes and Eric Mateus?
Oh yeah. Well, the O-line, the D-line have our NDs in practice like right next to each other. So this week has definitely been. We could definitely hear Coach Grimes more than we were hearing Coach Mateus before. So you definitely see the hunger in the O-line a little bit more. It could just be because they're like in front of the OC, so they want to work harder. But I feel like he's pushing them a little harder every day, and I like the results.
Are you seeing the development of some of those younger offensive linemen?
Yeah.
Like you said, you go against them some, but like particularly in that redshirt freshman class, you've seen some of those guys starting to.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like honestly, they could all play. They could definitely all play. It's just the matter of who gets it the best, and they've all been striving and getting better as practice has been going on. So as long as we just continue to trend up, then we should have plenty of depth for the O-line.
Do you start to get antsy to actually get out there and play after a couple weeks of this?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's been 2 weeks of practicing for basically nothing except for our own personal gain. So I feel like I said it like probably yesterday. I told the offense I'm tired of playing y'all. I want to play a different team.
Are you torn at all though, knowing this is the last year, and do you almost want stuff to last a little longer so you still have it?
Probably the season, but not so much fall camp.
As a leader and all that, how much responsibility do you take in terms of getting, like you said, the defense headed back in the right direction?
Honestly, it's been weighing pretty heavy on me because on those bad days, I feel like I take it worse than anybody because I could notice it and I could feel the energy and I could feel like sometimes I feel like I haven't done enough or like I haven't helped somebody or asked somebody to help me with the defense. So I feel like a lot of those times I could be the one to be at blame for it. And, whenever things like that happen, I just, I reach out to people, ask them for a little help, tell them I'm feeling down. That everybody, pretty much a brotherhood, we take care of each other pretty well.
Current Baylor player, former players, former teammates?
Well, recently, I've been reaching out like Clark, Blake, Gabe Hall, just those guys telling I'm feeling a little down today, like taking a mental burden on me. I may need to be picked up a little bit more today. And they usually step up for the plate for me.
Greg, you tired of camp?
Yeah, I mean, to say the least, yeah. I mean, this week's been a grind, but, you try to take advantage of every moment you have with your brothers and your coaches and just the time being spent here. Definitely don't want to take that for granted. And, I think we've got a lot of work done these past 2 weeks and just looking forward to being able to finish it off on the right note tomorrow with the scrimmage.
You almost kind of add to your plate, but do you enjoy classes starting and that kind of stuff?
I mean, classes are not as fun, but I mean, it's different. I think our schedule right now is pretty rigorous, and I mean, with classes, it's probably like takes some off of us. We're not at the facility all day, but it's a shift in focus. Just having something else to do in the morning and having to come back and do football, but I know we'll handle it well and do what we need to do to take care of business and stay on the right track and get ready for week 1.
Drake, Coach talked about how Blake has been putting some of his best practices together this week. What have you seen in that department?
Just a lot of confidence. No second guessing with him. He's making great decisions. Playing green, just if he sees something, he's taking it, being aggressive. So I love that out of him. I think he's going to be very special this year, and I know what he's capable of, and I think everyone knows too. And he's been a great leader. So I'm looking forward to going out there on the field and going to battle with him.
In terms of, you also talked about Coach Grimes coaching the O-line. It's someone who knows what it's like to get coached by Coach Grimes. Did any of the O-linemen come up and go, what is he doing?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was definitely for them. It was a little different. I mean, Coach Mateos is a great coach, but Coach Grimes, he has a different way of doing things, and neither of them are right or wrong. But Grimes is going to push you and get the best out of you. You'll hear from him too. But I mean, he's coached a line before. He's kind of an OG, so he knows the ins and outs of that position. So I think him going over there is a good switch up for them, and definitely he's getting the best out of them for sure.
In terms of that, also, you talked about, Coach talked about when classes start becoming more than a player, and sometimes it's hard for people to understand that they are more than a player, and sometimes injuries help with that. What was your experience like in trying to wrestle with that reality
Yeah.
you were?
I mean, excuse me, when I went down, it was like, well, I didn't want to go to class. I'm like, I'm hurt, feeling sorry for myself, but it's like, that don't matter. Like, the work don't slow down for anybody. So, I mean, you're out of that football, especially if you get injured. And it's like, it's good to be attentive and go to class. Your professors see you. There's people on campus watching the football players. So it's just a good look for us to be there and be prepared, and also take care of our grades and try to get one of the highest GPAs this year as a team. So, yeah.
Seemed like one of Dave's takeaways from the scrimmage last week was that the tight ends got more involved. Is that something you've seen maybe progress during camp, like you guys becoming more involved?
Yeah, for sure. I think there's always an effort to get us on the field and different personnels and get the ball in our hands. And I mean, sometimes we may not have as many targets. Sometimes we may have all the targets. So it just depends on what kind of day it is, what kind of how the defense is ran. But I think there's definitely plenty of opportunity for us to make an impact in the passing game and the run game as well. So. Yeah.
Great.
Thanks, Drake.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.